Can ghosts be digitized? Feel free to listen with your brain half switched off. Just know that if anything happens to you after watching, I take no responsibility. Fair warning, I'm from Sendai, Miyagi. Back when I was a college senior, a friend and I got it into our heads to run a little experiment. Can ghosts be captured on video? So we grabbed a camcorder and headed to Yajiyama Bridge, a well-known spot in the area. I'll give you a quick rundown, but feel free to Google it yourself. It used to be a suspension bridge, and was infamous as a suicide spot. Even after they replaced it, the suicides never stopped, so they put up fences. Below the bridge is a ravine called Tatsunakuchi, which was closed off about 10 years ago, officially due to the risk of landslides. But rumor has it there are bodies down there that were never recovered. Look it up if you're curious. The night we filmed, it was around the same time of year. I think it was just past 1 in the afternoon. Wait, no, 1 in the morning. We drove to the bridge in my friend's car, parked a little ways off, and walked the rest of the way. It was a clear night. I remember the stars were beautiful. We waited for a gap in traffic and started filming. My friend posed with his back to the fence, the Sendai night skyline behind him. I fixed the camera on a tripod, and filmed for about 10 minutes before I got bored and lit a cigarette. Eventually I got restless, so I left the camera rolling on the tripod, and went to stand next to my friend. We smoked, goofed around. After about 30 minutes, we were both over it, so I hit stop, packed up, and we headed back to his apartment. I think it was around 1:35 in the morning by then. Back at his place, we sat down to watch the footage. Sure enough, there was my friend doing something stupid on screen. You could hear me heckling him in the background. About 10 minutes in, it cut to the part where we were both standing together in frame. And then, on the right side of the screen, something white. At first I figured it was a trick of the light against the night sky backdrop, but the way it moved was off. It looked almost like fabric. It gradually drifted left, and as more of it came into frame, I could make out what it was. A white skirt, and then the full figure, a woman in a white dress, walking into the shot. Based on where she entered, she must have come from right beside us, but neither of us had seen her. She was looking downward. White dress, bare feet, long black hair. She had her back to the camera. She walked between me and my friend, made her way to the fence, and started climbing. The top of the fence had an overhang built specifically to stop people from getting over, with barbed wire on top. She climbed it like none of that was there, and then she went over and fell. We sat there, staring at the screen. On the footage, my friend and I were still joking around, completely oblivious. We, watching, were frozen solid. 10 or so seconds after she fell, she appeared again, from the right side of the frame, but she was different now. The dress was soaked in blood, her hair was tangled and wild, her skin was torn in places, bloated in others, and she was dragging what looked like her intestines, small intestine, probably. Her face was still turned away, but she was unmistakably someone who had just fallen from that height. She walked between us again, climbed the fence, fell again, then appeared again, worse each time. It became a loop. She'd emerge, cross between us, climb, fall, vanish, reappear. I don't know how many times it happened. The dress that had been white was now reddish brown, torn to shreds. I think her left leg was broken. It was the most disturbing thing I had ever seen, worse than any gore image I'd come across online. Then, just before she reached the fence again, she stopped and turned to face the camera. That was the first time I saw her face. Where her eyes should have been, there was nothing, just hollow sockets. She started walking toward the camera. The camera was on a tripod at about chest height, maybe 150 centimeters off the ground. As she got closer, the frame filled with her torso, right around the chest and collarbone. That part of the dress was soaked and discolored, deeply wrong to look at. Then, just as she reached the lens, the camera angle shifted, smoothly, upward, like someone had physically lifted it, and suddenly the screen was filled with her face in extreme close-up. She was muttering something, her lips moved, she was clearly saying something, but I couldn't make it out. Then the footage cut out. Static. We hadn't stopped recording. The camera had been rolling the whole time until we left. I had no idea why it had stopped on its own, why it had gone to static. We sat there frozen for a while after watching that. Eventually we agreed, let's just sleep, and show it to our professor tomorrow. And somehow, we did manage to sleep. I think the mental exhaustion knocked us both out fast. My friend went upstairs to his room. I fell asleep downstairs on a futon. I woke up at some point, turned my head to check the clock, just before 4. When I turned back to face forward, it hit me. Sleep paralysis. The first time in my life. There were feet in front of me. I couldn't move anything except my eyes. I looked up, something white and wispy. The woman from the video. I actually remember thinking that, oddly calm about it. I tried to close my eyes. I couldn't. I could blink, but not close them. Then blood trickling down her feet, dripping onto the futon. The stain spread slowly, growing wider. I felt something warm and wet against my cheek, running from my ear downward. Thick, slow drops. I was trembling, panicking. Please just go away. That thought had barely formed when her face appeared in front of mine. Right at the pillow, she was standing over me, leaning down, peering at my face. Close enough that our noses almost touched. No breath, not even the faintest warmth when she spoke, but she was speaking. At first I couldn't understand her. Then, gradually, the words became clear. You were watching, weren't you? You kept watching. Why? And then I blacked out. When I came to, about 30 minutes had passed. The futon had no blood, no stains, no footprints, nothing. I got up carefully, and went to check on my friend. I found him in the corner of his room, knees pulled to his chest, rocking slightly. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Over and over. I brought him downstairs, turned on all the lights, and waited for him to calm down enough to talk. He told me he'd fallen asleep on his back, blanket pulled up to his chest. He woke up in the night to sleep paralysis, and then he felt something grip both of his feet. The hands were slick, like they were coated in blood. Cold and wrong. The grip moved upward. Ankles, thighs, waist, chest, crawling up between him and the blanket. When he looked down at his chest, something was staring back at him. He shut his eyes. Then in an instant, whatever it was lurched upward, face to face. He could feel it. He opened his eyes, and she was there. The woman from the video. She was whispering something, just like she had to me. He couldn't make out the words. His memory ends there. He didn't even know how he'd ended up in the corner when I came in. That same day we sent the footage to one of our professors, and told him the whole story, ending with, watch at your own risk. A few days later, the professor called. There's nothing on here, just the two of you. He said nothing strange had happened to him that night. He laughed off everything we told him. Since then, we've never shown the footage to anyone. My friend still has it. Neither of us has seen the woman since. Nothing strange has happened, though I will say, ever since that night, I think my sensitivity to these things has gotten a little sharper. That's the story. Something I went through a long time ago that I still can't explain.